Well, that's so bad guys can't see you bleed. Hey! Let's hope these guys can learn the ground beats. There's no easy way to say this. I'm pregnant, Trevor. Not the cure, but more like a topical ointment that reduces swelling and itch. I come on. Oh, fuck me. Good morning, fans of the amazing Houston Comic-Con. We want to welcome you to the first ever show that we have here. How many people came here yesterday to the con? All right, how many people are coming out here? This is your first day at the amazing Houston Comic-Con. Oh, come on, you can do a lot louder than that, right? Come on, guys. Rock on. I'm really stoked that you guys are here. Really pleased because this means a lot that you are coming on out, being part of something a lot bigger than just reading comic books at your house or playing video games at your house, or hanging out with one of your buddies at school, or your friends at the mall at Hot Top when you get your Deadpool shirts there, or any of those other places. What I dig about Comic-Cons is the coming together of a lot of fans, all digging a lot of the same pop culture stuff that we all love. And that's why we wanted to celebrate the big icons that we dig, and there's no bigger icon right now at Marvel Comics than Deadpool. Yeah. That's right. Come on, we want to hear something, guys. Time to be lively. Now, who is lively is the Deadpool creator, Rob Liefeld. I want to thank you for coming on out to the show. We had a cool trailer, and thanks for spending it with us, Rob.
Hey, thank you everybody for coming out. I'm on low sleep, so forgive me, but I'll juice up my energy here. Seriously, that's going to be amazing, Houston Comic-Con. I came here about 5-6 years ago, and it was okay. And then Jimmy said he was going to do a show here in Houston, and I love Texas. I generally have really good experiences in Texas. I have never had a better experience than this weekend here in Houston. I just want to thank you so much. I've been here maybe 5-6 times in my 27-year career, and you guys have always been so nice, so hospitable, so friendly, so energetic. And so anyway, for the people in the audience, I always start these no matter where I am, New York, Texas, LA. I do a little run through because there's somebody in the audience going, I have no idea who that guy is and what he does and why he's up there. Here's the deal. When I was a little kid, actually on Sundays, I'd be getting out of church right about now. My dad was a Baptist minister. My grandfather was a Baptist minister. I broke the line. I decided to become a comic book artist instead. When I was, my love affair with superheroes actually started in the Bible, like I said yesterday, because in the Old Testament there's all these badass heroes, right? I mean, Samson slew 5,000 Philistines with a bone. And I was in my aunt's wedding, and they gave me this illustrated Bible, and it was like up to here, and there was a double-page painting of Samson just smashing somebody's face up and all these dead soldiers, and I'm like, I like Samson! And like I said yesterday, the only bad part about the Bible is there's no continuing adventures of Samson. There are no further adventures of David. They all died. So I had to go seek out another form of entertainment because I like superheroes. I like guys with super strength, or like Joshua can can destroy a temple, a city of Jericho by marching around it, and then kill everybody in it. Like when you're like 9 years old, that's awesome. But like I said, they all died, and that bummed me out. So I went and started reading comics, DC Comics, Marvel Comics. I wanted to be a comic book artist. At my school, I would draw on my test. At church, I would draw on all the hymnals. Funny story, when that Levi's commercial aired, yes, I was on this ridiculous commercial, but that commercial was supposed to be about people who did interesting things. And I said, yes, I do something interesting. And then it played for 2 years. So that was awesome. But at my church, I guess everyone stole the hymnals. They went back. I hadn't gone there in like 10, 15 years, but my aunt said, oh yeah, they came back and took all the hymnals you drew. And so that's kind of cool. I've never seen one on eBay though. But anyway, I knew as a high schooler I would draw comics. I was not qualified to do anything. I can't add. I'm not terribly eloquent. I am not going to build you a bomb or a rocket. I'm not smart in that way. I'm just hyperactively creating stuff all the time. And so when my English teacher would pull my ear and say, don't draw on your test, I'm like, dude, I'm practicing for my future here. So I was fortunate. 1 year out of high school, I was able to get a job with Marvel Comics. And then I bounced around Marvel and DC early on. And then Marvel called me one day and said, you want to come draw the X-Men? And if I knew I wouldn't injure this mic, I would imitate, I'd drop the phone, boom, wow, the X-Men. Like, I've only been drawing comics for like a year and a half. And so I went there, and like I said yesterday, they did me fill-ins on X-Men and X-Factor, but I didn't want to do the original X-Men book because that was, I just didn't feel I was up to it. I felt like I wasn't good enough yet to do like the original X-Men. So they offered me the New Mutants, which was about to be canceled, which is a good thing. When something's canceled, they let you do anything you want with it. And that's where Cable came from, Deadpool came from, Domino came from. And it went to being one of the worst-selling X-Men books to the best-selling X-Men books. And again, thank you all for that. I've seen some of you over the years. Thank you for buying the books. Thank you for supporting the vision. That encouraged me to do my own stuff. And I went on with my fellow outlaw creators. We were just a different breed. Jim Lee, myself. Jim Lee, you guys saw him yesterday. He's the most contained of us. He's the most well-behaved. That's it. He's the most well-behaved. Todd McFarlane and myself and Eric Larson are not well-behaved. And we talked back to authority, and we started to see Marvel as the authority because they started telling us we couldn't do stuff. And there's an issue that I did with Todd McFarlane on X-Force and Spider-Man, and they wouldn't let Todd put the sword through Juggernaut's eye. And he flipped out, I'm out of here. And I had already planned on going and doing my own thing. So we formed Image Comics, which has been around, I think 22 years now, 22 years? Which I'm still doing books through Image. Image is going through a resurgence. Little Robert Kirkman, when he was 12 years old, came to a signing, and he loved us, and it's hysterical to me, because he's like one of my best friends, and we just laugh about like when he was a teenager, he'd like have his little, Image Comics, because he was in love with Image Comics, now he's a partner at Image Comics, and probably the most successful guy in the comics industry ever, period. And that is the legacy of Image Comics. And when I see all these cool Deadpool cosplayers, or I go to Target and I see 10,000 Deadpool items and Cable items and X-Force stuff, it feels good. Like I said yesterday, it's not a boastful good. It's not like, yeah, I'm a badass. It's like, that is awesome. I get to play with something I create. And my kid is playing a video game with something I created. And that's just part of the dream of comic books, man. And the guys I grew up idolizing, Jack Kirby, Frank Miller, John Byrne, George Perez, I was able to have a career like theirs. And I am so thankful. But so there you go. There's the story of Rob in a nutshell. What I always do is I open it up to questions, because you have questions, and I will, if I don't have an answer, I'll make one up, and I'll entertain you in the process, or I won't. But we'll roll the dice. And today, because it's Sunday, we're low, the energy, on Sunday, we're all kind of cranky. Well, I'm not cranky, I'm just tired. But I brought some prints to give away free. So I figured you deserved it, you came here. I got some, I normally charge for these, but it's the end of the day, and after this, I gotta go home. So I need to give these out to you people. So let's start by opening it up. If any of you have some questions, and I'm gonna come to you, because yesterday, like you would yell at me and I couldn't hear you. So I'm gonna come to you. You ask me a question, I'll walk around, field these, and bring some prints along the way. All right, here we go. All right, let's do this. All right. What's up, buddy? Green Lantern? That almost killed the Deadpool movie. I told Ryan, don't do that. You're not Green Lantern, you're Deadpool. And he did that. I mean, I like Jeff Johns, but that movie was awful. Okay, let's go. Let's do the selfie with the mic. All right, is that your question? Okay, all right. That's a good print. Okay, hey buddy, what's up?
Did you like the Shadowhawk comics?
Now my buddy Jim Valentino, I used to share a studio with Jim Valentino because in Southern California, honestly, the reason I started a studio called Extreme Studios, and a lot of those guys have gone on to produce some great animation, comic books. The lead character designer on Guardians of the Galaxy, his name is Andy Parks. He worked with me for 3 years. A young kid gave him his first shot. He'll tell you that. He is the sweetest kid. He came up to me last year and showed me Rocket Raccoon and Groot and all the designs. He said, "We're nervous about this movie." I said, "Andy, this is gonna kick ass." And now Andy's all over the place. His artwork's everywhere. He came from my studio. Now the reason I'm telling you that is, I was the only comic artist. I could throw a rock in any direction as far as I could in Southern California, and I would not have a kin. Like, I didn't have a bro. Like, I was a lone comic book artist. Jim Valentino, who created Shadowhawk, I met him through a friend. I'm like, another! So we had a studio together. The entire time he did Guardians of the Galaxy and I was doing the New Mutants and the X-Force, we sat next to each other every day. He gave me Jack Kirby comics, and best thing he ever did was he rolled up to me with all these CDs and he's like, "The music you listen to sucks. Listen to the Beatles. You listen to the Beatles this weekend and we'll talk about it Monday." And I was like, woo! And I remember my wife, who I wasn't engaged to yet, we drove out to Palm Springs and we listened to the Beatles and we both fell in love with the Beatles. So again, he created Shadowhawk. I love Jim Valentino. I love Shadowhawk. I ate the cover, the first cover of Shadowhawk. So that's a long answer to your question, yes. Boom, there you go, buddy. All right, I'll get back to you. I love the kids. All right, here, you.
Somebody who has a passion and an imagination for creating, but not necessarily all the art skills, and they're still young in high school.
The question is, what advice do you have for someone who has the passion to create comics and who necessarily doesn't have the talent yet? I'm not gonna lie to you. You're in a tough spot. It's better when you can draw. Because when you can draw, you can walk around with the drawing and go, look at my drawing. Who am I? Is it good? Is it good? No, it's not good. Okay, I'll go draw another. I'll go draw another. Now, writers, though, I mean, honestly, this is the best age to be a writer of writers. And the written word is powerful. Ask the author of Twilight, Hunger Games, that Divergent crap. I mean, if you have a female hero and put her in a novel, you're going to get a $100 million movie. I mean, what am I doing wrong? Right? Well, okay, I'm going to tell you, if he has artistic talent, he's going to have to draw a lot. You draw all the time. That means you're not going out with your friends sometimes. That means, hey, Billy, let's go. No, I'm going to stand with him and draw. When my parents moved away and at 18 years old, I bumped the buddy at his house. I was a waiter, I was a construction worker, and I was a pizza delivery boy for 1 year. And every day I was doing some job. Construction Monday through Friday, up at 4:30, on the site at 6, home at 4:30. And you know what I drew? I drew all night because I'm like, I gotta draw comics. And I was talking to somebody the other day. It can't just be your side thing. It's gotta be, you said passion. If it's your passion, you're doing it all the time. So good luck to whoever it is. Great question. I'll get you. What's up, buddy?
Are you going to be in the Deadpool movie?
You know, Robert Kirkman and I talk about this all the time. Okay, we all watch The Walking Dead, right? Okay? Yeah. He's never been in an episode. You either want to be on TV or you don't. I do not want to be on screen. I got a big mouth. I can do that here. I don't need to be on screen. Stan Lee is a freaking attention whore who, I kid you not, I'm going to tell you right now, Stan, I love you, but you know this is true. 4 years ago, Robert won't mind me saying this, there was a Walking Dead panel at Comic-Con. It was the premiere season. It hadn't premiered yet, but they had the cast. They were pumping the shows coming. In between, there's a Marvel panel. Robert said, "Come to my Walking Dead panel." So I'm right here in the front row. Walking Dead panel ends. We're talking. Here comes Stan. Hey, hey. And he goes, "Robert, I'd love to be a zombie." And Robert's like, "Well, okay, thank you. That's nice. That's good. How you doing, Stan?" He's like, "I can be a zombie." I kid you not. This is what happened next. And I'm sitting there going, "Are you like, have some dignity, son? So can I come to the sound stage and can I be a zombie? And Robert said, oh, that's a problem. We film in Kentucky, and Alabama and Georgia. You'd have to fly out there. Oh, I don't fly. Look, I'll do a green screen zombie for you. And you can put me in. Robert's like, all right, thanks, Dan. And he turned to me and goes, can you believe that just happened? So Stan wants to be in everything. I don't. So thank you. I don't need to be in the Deadpool movie. That kick-ass character, like, he came out of my notepad, and for 23 years, he's looked the same. Black and red. The one time Marvel slipped on the banana peel, woo! When they're like, hey, we're going to take a costume off Deadpool and call him Agent X, and how'd that work out for him? It didn't. I'm going to get you a friend. I've seen a lot, people. I've seen a lot. I've been around the block. All right. That's what happens when you start a company that becomes the #2 company with 6 books in 1992. Did you know that? We started Image Comics, and with 6 comics, in the summer of 92, we were bigger than DC Comics. You want to talk about an earthquake in the industry. The 2 pages that DC Comics came off those old guys' heads. Woo! What are those guys doing in California? This is what we're doing. Okay, you're so sweet. What's up? 18 years old. I was very fortunate. Not a lot of guys, you know. But again, I decided when I was 10, this is what I'm doing. Get out of my way. Hymnal, test, napkin. What do they put on your table at the restaurant?
Tablecloth.
A tablecloth. They were all there for me to draw. I'm going to move deeper in here. I'm going to get you a print in a minute, okay? All right. Little Spider-Man dude. Little Spider-Man dude.
In the Deadpool game, why do you like make Deadpool like cinematography or something?
Well, here's what I tell everybody this. You ready? You ready? You ready? You want that answer? Because the turtles took all the pizza. He was stuck with the tacos. Okay? I love pizza, and so does Deadpool, but those damn turtles, they're obsessed with it. He couldn't do it. So we had to go into tacos and chimichangas. And if you know me, my whole family, every friend I have knows where Rob Liefeld is on Tuesday night, anywhere, but mainly in my home, is at Taco Tuesday. So, brother, Mexican food is my life. It's my wife life. Everyone gets in the car last night, we go down to like Rice University town, we're like, where's the Mexican food? Where's the Mexican food? And they know, just drive by the Italian. I'm not doing that. Mexican food. There's your answer. The turtles took all the pizza. Wait, I have to go somewhere else in the room. Right back here, wait, right back here. You know what? I've got a couple of screenplays I'm writing, but they're science fiction. That's honestly what I'm doing. And then I'm drawing a comic called Brigade that's going to be out free. The first issue will be free a couple months. And it's got a bunch of the characters I created in these comics. Otherwise, I'm kind of boring right now. It's kind of nice. But thank you. All right, who else? Well, I'm going to move over here. I'm sorry, I'll come back to you. Hang on. I'm trying to work the room. Yes, young lady. What's your question? What was the most questionable? Oh man, that's a good question, but I have no idea. The most questionable thing. I'm gonna think about it. If I remember it during the show, I'll blurt it out. I'm putting the computer to work, but I told you I'm tired. All right, buddy, what you?
Who is your other favorite character besides Deadpool?
Oh my gosh, no. The only character I love. People ask me today. The question was, what's my favorite character? Buddy, I will die. Wolverine is my favorite character of all space and all time and always will be. When I created Deadpool and Cable, I told Marvel, I'm making the next Wolverine for you. Again, you gotta remember, I'm 22 at the time, and everybody wanted to draw Wolverine. It was like, you were only, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a time you were only considered good if you drew a good Wolverine. There were some dudes, I won't mention their name, but you're like, oh, your Wolverine sucks, you're never gonna be popular. Like, you gotta draw Wolverine good. Like, and all the Image guys, we drew him good. I was like, that's why Deadpool's origin is slightly tied to Wolverine. I'm Wolverine obsessed. If I saw Hugh Jackman, I'd lose it. My man crush I'd go crazy, but he'd have to be dressed like Wolverine. All right, Deadpool, what's up?
How do you feel about Deadpool's depiction of Wolverine?
Okay, I know the people over at Fox, and he asked me how I felt about the Deadpool origins depiction. When Ryan was in a red tank top, awesome, right? Katanas, awful. Look, I was friends with all those people, but I knew there was trouble. When and they still have some insaneness in them over at Fox. They're getting better, but the producer, not Lauren Schuler Donner, but another producer who's not on the X-Men movies anymore. About 2 months before the movie said, "Oh, Rob, Wolverine Origins is going to be great. It's going to be great." And I said, "Why? Why?" He said, "We got Gambit. We got Gambit in the movie." And I'm like, "What about Deadpool?" He goes, "Oh, nobody really cares about Deadpool." And I'm like, "Wow, you are clueless." And he's old. You're old and you need to be fired. And fired, boom. But they got it. They tried to make a movie. The problem was, I'll tell you what screwed up the Deadpool movie. You can blame your favorite movie for screwing Deadpool, Avengers. Avengers came out and made $1 billion, and all the other rival studios said, "Oh, you can make $1 billion. But you have to introduce the characters and they all have to know each other and then launch it." And now everything's got to be introduced. You had to have First Class, to have Days of Future Past. Because Jennifer Lawrence just can't appear. She has to be introduced in the first movie. So they're just taking their time. But no, I mean, come on, it was bad. What do you think? I mean, it was bad. But when he cut the bullets, when he cut that bullet and went, woo, woo, I was like, woo! And then the end of the movie, you're like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." All right, right here. Stand up, come on. I'm doing some work, you're doing some work.
What made you think of the name Deadpool?
Yeah, I told this yesterday. There is a Clint Eastwood movie. I'm transparent. You just take from the good stuff. There's the Clint Eastwood movie. It probably came out in '89, '88. It's called The Deadpool. And it's got Jim Carrey as the bad guy. Sorry, I just spoiled the movie for you. But he wasn't a comedic actor yet. But I was like, that's a cool name. And somebody asked me yesterday, like, where do the characters start with? It starts with a name. And I wrote down Deadpool. And later on, I'll tell you, because I want to get these questions. Let me segue into another one. People ask me, how'd you go with Deadpool? All right, plain and simple. I had the name. The name was sitting there. Here you go, buddy. I had the name. It was sitting there. And like I told you, Todd McFarlane and I were best buds. Todd used to answer the phone and say, "Rob, you call me more than my mom." And I said, "Sorry," but we would talk for 2 to 3 hours at a time. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So Todd used to taunt me. He used to taunt me all the time. Because I mean, the day I met Todd McFarlane at San Diego Comic-Con, the way I'm not stopping to talk, he didn't stop talking for 5 hours. And at one point, we crossed the street, we got into an elevator, we were going to his room in the hotel room, and he's like, "While you're drawing the figures, you're a new guy. I'm inking the bricks on the building and adding detail to the backgrounds. I'm kicking ass, and you're figuring it out." I'm like, "You're competitive. He's a competitive dude. And he will inspire your competitive fire." He coaches the baseball team also. He's competitive. So he would call me up in the middle of my New Mutants run and say, "I feel so bad for you, Robbie. You got, what, 7 teenage mutants and that old cable guy, and you gotta draw eyes and nose and a mouth and hair." He's right, all that takes time. You go, "Oh, I gotta line these eyes up, okay, nose, mouth, oh, gotta draw the stubble." And he's like, "In the meantime, what? I gotta make a deadline? Oval, big eye, webbed, done. I'm done, and you're still working." And I was like, "Maybe he's an ass. He's always, he said, 'I'll never do a team book again.'" Did he? No. Spider-Man Spawn, done. And so they asked me to write. They said, "Rob, New Mutants is doing good. We're going to let you write it." And I tell everybody, there is a reason New Mutants 98 has 3 characters on it. Because I was putting it all on the table. What I tell everybody is 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I got Deadpool, he worked. Domino, he worked. And poor Gideon just never took flight. It was that green ponytail. Get him in. Too much of the 90s. But I had the Deadpool name. And I said, I'm going to make Deadpool. He's going to be my Boba Fett. We've already established Cable. He's a badass. This guy's going to walk in and take the whole team down. He's going to take all of the New Mutants down. And people are going to love him. But he's going to be a smartass. And he's going to be red and black. And this is my little screw you, Todd. And I call Todd. I say, "Hey, Todd, guess what I'm drawing right now? I'm drawing a big oval and some big loopy eyes and little white dots. And that's my Spider-Man." Boom! And I said, "Oh, by the way, my Spider-Man has katanas and machine guns. So beat that." And there he is right there, man. He's everywhere. Deadpool. I mean, I won that argument. It's Todd. He didn't create Spider-Man, right? He just drew the best one. So people ask, that's where Deadpool came into play. I'm like, I'm ready, but he had to be a badass and mercenary. And then he was really, even when you see how I drew people, I drew Cable thick. Deadpool was leaner. I was literally trying to emulate bad Spider-Man with knives and machine guns. So thank you. Okay, I'm about to pass out. Who's got the next question? I like you. I'm gonna come back to you. Did you already ask? Yes. Come on, Dan. You asked already. Come on.
How did you come up with that?
I just answered that. All right. What else? In the drugs that you're on, buddy. Well, Cable. No, transparent as hell. I love Die Hard. I love Bruce Willis with his receding hairline. I thought that was cool. A leading man who wasn't like, didn't have a full head of hair. And I also liked Arnold at the time. So in my head, I put Bruce Willis's face on Arnold Schwarzenegger's body. Bruce Willis from the neck up, Schwarzenegger from the neck down. I said, he's from the future. He knows. I told Bob Harris, Cable knows how every X-Men's died. He is from the far-flung future, and he's back here to challenge the ideology of Xavier and Magneto. Magneto wants to wipe them all out. Xavier wants the peace, and Cable says you don't get to choose. We have to survive, and surviving is going to be, we're going to have to be forceful, and we're going to have to be aggressive. And I wanted to be slightly older, and Bob, my editor, said, I don't know about this. That receding hairline, I don't know if he's going to take off. But you notice since I left, he got alopecia, and he's got a full head of hair now. Cable's like rocking a sweet full head of hair. And one time, because Bob Harris told me, well, kids don't like how older characters are, but we finally decided to give him more hair. But people have that happen. And I'm like, he's a time traveler. All he does is get back in, travel back, and then say, hey, young version of me, go with more hair. Now you go forward. So that's how you explain it. But Cable was just, they said, you can make a new teacher for the New Mutants, and I made him a commando. So thank you, Bruce Willis and Arnold. Where else am I going? I haven't gone to the outer room here. I'm going to go. You want to ask me how I created Cable? Because I just answered it. You don't want to? No? I dare you. All right. Hang on. We're having fun. I'm jogging. Okay.
The question is, how long does it take the process to make?
At my fastest, now, I was talking to a guy who is my idol. One of my idols, Herb Trimp, he's here. Herb Trimp is awesome. I was in the bar talking to him last night, and I bought every Herb Trimp comic when I was Herb created Wolverine. When I was a kid, I bought all the Herb Trimp comics, and he said, Rob, at my peak, I was getting up to 3 pages a day. But that's nothing. Kirby did 5 pages a day. About 4 years ago, I was doing 3 pages a day. Other artists that I met when I was younger said, Rob, when it starts clipping with you, you can do it. And I wasn't even breaking a sweat, it was just comfortable. Morning, noon, night, boom, boom, boom. Because when I grew up, also John Byrne, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Marvel Team Up, Avengers, he drew all the time. So it depends. Some guys do a page, a month, which is why I don't see their work much. But, generally, you got to do a page a day. In comics, if you're not doing a page a day, you're slacking off. At my peak, I can do 3. So, thank you. All right, what's going on? Good question.
How old were you when you first thought up of Deadpool?
That would be 22 years old. I was 22. And it worked out for me. Thank you. Okay, you buddy, I said I'd come back.
Why did you make Deadpool so humorous?
Well, because Spider-Man was humorous. Like, I sent Fox this summer, Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think it's awful. It's an awful movie. It was directed by like a Joel Schumacher wannabe. Jamie Foxx, I'm like, you should give your acting card back. You're horrible. That was terrible. But anyway, I'm beating up with the first 10 minutes when he's swinging around and he's cracking jokes and he's fat. You only see that with Spider-Man. So I decided we're gonna make Spider-Man doesn't own being a smartass, right? So I made Deadpool a smartass because it's funny. It's funny, and if you're killing people, Spider-Man's saving people making jokes. Deadpool's killing people making jokes. That's funny. And eating tacos. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 adults now. You're an adult, right?
Billion. Favorite billion.
Favorite villain! All right, buddy, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's Magneto. I'm such an X-Men guy. And Michael Fassbender, again, I told my wife, I got kind of a gay side. I love women, but Michael Fassbender, he's hot too. Hugh Jackman, Michael Fassbender, I might switch if I was with both of those guys. But not that old Gandalf guy. If he never plays Magneto again, that's probably in his class when they came out and they were old. Charles. I'm like, we're done. Give me Michael Fassbender. He's the cool Magneto. Because in first class, when he took on all those Russians and ran across the field and was knocking them all down and the barbed wire, badass. Magneto, best villain. Who else? Charles. Okay, is there anyone named Charles? You're not. You're lying to me. All right, Charles. Charles. This prison can't help me. All right. That's awesome. You're Charles.
What made you break the door to the whole concept?
I knew that. I will not take credit where credit's not due. Was that Joe Kelly who had him talk to people? Great, awesome, worked. Good for him. But again, take that costume off, break the fourth wall, it doesn't work. Oh, now I'm taking a picture. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. We're interrupting this panel to take a picture. Woo! All right. Oh, thank you. I love when people call me a genius. It's not true, but thank you. All right, you, what's up? Is that Green Lantern too? Oh, I'm skipping. All right. You didn't make that movie.
It's a simple question. I just want to know whenever you draw or they cover the Deadpool comments, why is this, whenever he speaks, always yellow? It's different.
Because he's dirty. Yeah. It's kids like a foul mouth. Yep. Answer. Hi there. You are an adult.
Any characters in the works or you?
I kind of do. Man, I had my version of crack cocaine was creating characters in the 90s, and I probably have 200 of them, and I'm kind of out right now. I'm out. I used every name in the book, and I'm old and raising kids, so I'm tired. But I can manage the new ones for a long time, the old ones for a long time. All right, you buddy, what's up?
Two quick questions. Deadpool, PG-13 or rated R? And when will we see Cable?
You can see Cable soon. I won't say anything, but you can see Cable sooner than you think. Like in 2 years. And then everybody will be like, I always loved Cable. No, you didn't. But it'll be funny to see people cosplay as Cable. That's a lot harder than Deadpool. I gotta put on my bionic arm and I gotta lose my hair. But my eyes gotta glow, scars. It's a lot more complicated. Okay, people ask me about Deadpool being PG-13 or being rated R. It was originally written as an R-rated movie. It is a fantastic script. When I read it, I could not believe I had written something so amazing. Even if it wasn't called Deadpool, it would be fantastic, but it is Deadpool. And it was like, what if Quentin Tarantino wrote a superhero movie? It was laugh out loud funny, but mainly it was R because of all the F-bombs and the language. And you'll notice studios, I told people the other day, okay, listen, that trailer that you saw was PG-13. No, Robbie cut off some guy's head. And I say, let's go back to Attack of the Clones. Mace Windu cut off Jango Fett's head and it bounced boom in front of a little kid. Dead! You know? They got away with beheading somebody. They behead people. But what happened? No blood. Like I said yesterday, Hugh Jackman jacks people all the time with those claws. Boom, pulls them out. Hey, self-cleaning. You know? No blood. The blood isn't the problem, it's the language. There are 3 action sequences. The Deadpool movie was written in 2010. In 4 years, nobody has ripped off these action sequences. They are, when you read them, you're like, oh my gosh. I thought The Matrix, like the original Matrix, the first 2, that freeway scene on top of the, what's his name? Neo? No. Morpheus. That was really imaginative stuff. But the first 2 Matrix I thought were great. These are fantastic, amazing action sequences. And as you can see there, that's funny stuff, man. Look at the drawing, I'm gonna slice your head, and wow! I mean, but when he drops it in the car and they listen to Juice Newton, every kid in here goes, who's Juice Newton? But the studio will not make an R-rated X-Men movie. You gotta realize, what is Deadpool? He's X-Men. And I told you yesterday, the Avengers has them all. Oh, that's how you make $1 billion. They don't make these movies because they love you or me. They make them ka-ching. The old dudes around the studios are like, they're like Scrooge McDuck. I need my money. Why didn't Spider-Man make $1 billion? They're crying at Sony. We spent $300 million. We marketed for $200. It didn't break $1 billion. It was PG-13. Everybody saw it, right? But no, I guess not right. But yeah, Deadpool will be fine as a PG-13. You've all seen how they drop the F-bomb in PG-13s now. I took my son, he was 10. I'm like, Luke, we're gonna take you to see first class. I'm I'm a conservative parent. And so when Wolverine turned around and said, hey, F off, I was like, oh crap, Wolverine just cursed for my kid. And he's like, should I be here, Dad? I'm like, just sit down. PG-13, now they give everybody an F-bomb, so I'm sure Deadpool will curse at some point. But he's going to be funny. Again, what you saw is PG-13. Nothing in there makes it all. Did you love it? You loved it. Everyone loved it. It was PG-13. So, and you're not going to convince the studios. Now, if one of them drops acid tonight and wakes up tomorrow and says, R-rated is the new path to $1 billion, we all win. But that's not going to happen. Unless that guy gives him the drugs right there. Rob him. Dude, I love you. I'll just give you a hard time. Come on, people. It's fun. Okay, I'm going all the way over here. You little dude. All right, more prints. I keep forgetting about these. I'm not being, woo, when I get these, the speaker's hard, yes.
And when and why did you come up with Deadpool Corpse?
Oh, okay, sure. I'm driving home from Las Vegas, and the editor of Deadpool calls me, and he says, Rob, we thought it would be great if you created Lady Deadpool, and we want to spin off Deadpool and make it a team. And I said, sounds good to me. More Deadpool's good for everybody. So I introduced Lady Deadpool in More With Rob 7, and then I think she had a solo one-shot, and they brought them all together, and I hope they bring them back soon. I think Lady Deadpool, I mean, that's like Harley Quinn. She's ready to be activated. Dogpool, that's funny, but my favorite, I'll be honest, Kidpool is the best. I don't know why they don't do more with Kidpool. He has a lightsaber. He's Deadpool with a lightsaber, right? Hang on. Okay. I already got you, buddy. All these DC, oh, that's Halo. I thought that was Batman. What's up, Halo? Ask me your question.
Why do you use swords and weapons?
Oh my gosh, why not? Okay, let's start there. Why not? No, I'm gonna tell you. Funny story. Why do we all love Wolverine? Let me tell you something. In the X-Men were canceled. People don't understand this. In the 70s, they canceled the X-Men because no one bought it. And I'm gonna do a recreation of why. Because I read those comics. Now, Avengers, Thor had a hammer, right? And he hit people, bam, bam. It looked awesome. Cap had a shield. He threw it. Boom. Hawkeye had bows. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what was going on in the X-Men before Wolverine. Cyclops, we dramatically show you what he would do. Then Marvel Girl, she gets you good by you doing this. And then Angel would say, oh my gosh, I need to fly. And then Beast would be like, I need to bounce somewhere. Boring. I can tell you why the X-Men sucked. They were boring. Everyone strike pose. You know, James Marsden, stop it, Wolverine, or I'll have to press my ear. So then they introduced Wolverine. And so let me jump to the end of the story. When I did Captain America, Heroes Reborn, Marvel hired me to come back. Captain America selling 24,000 copies. Captain America 1 by Rob Liefeld, 450,000 copies. My least selling issue is 250,000 copies. That is the best selling run on Captain America ever, okay? So anyway, the guys who did Marvel animation, they said, Rob, come up and see us. The guy who ran Marvel Comics for 15 years was a guy named Avi Arad. And he's a big Israeli guy, and he will tell you he served in the Israeli military, and he killed people. He goes, I would kill people on the battlefield. He's a big guy, and he rolled like this. He said, Rob, I want to meet with you. Because I like Cable. And I like Deadpool, and we sell lots of Cable Deadpool toys. In the 1990s, dude, I see you, hang on. In the 1990s, they had 20 Cable action figures. Aqua Cable, Arctic Cable, Commando Cable, Space Cable. Cable was the man, and now I knew why. The guy who ran the company was like, make me more Cable. And he says to me, you know, I like you, Rob. You got hardware with the software. To this day, I don't really know what that meant. I stared at him like, I think hardware means guns and swords, and software means, I'm not sure. But what I took that to mean is, and I told him, I said, Avi, I'm going to try and interpret what you said. I said, Avi, it was not lost on me that the reason we all love Wolverine, the only X-Men to get 2 of his own movies, right? We all love him because, does he do this? Get back. I love when Holly Berry goes, I must stop this. Boring, but when Hugh Jackman goes, whoosh, whoosh, you know, it's awesome. Wolverine had weapons. Wolverine had 6 knives, and he fought with them and cut people, and he would throw them and he'd impale you, or he'd block your sword. He was the first X-Men with weapons. So I said, I'm going to make more X-Men with weapons. Cable, guns, knives, swords, Deadpool, katanas, machine guns, Shatterstar. Shatterstar, here's a sword with 2 blades. Dominoes, shield through knives. Everybody had weapons. And that's why X-Force went through the roof. Because they wanted action. It was like G.I. Joe meets the X-Men. So I just always liked guys who could hold stuff in their hands. Because like I said, bro, I had enough of this. Even Iron Man flies up, opens up those repulsors, boom, 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 boom. Exciting. So the reason I gave people katanas and machine guns, it's because it's fun. And if you see any SWAT unit ever, tonight on your way home, if you have to get pulled over on the side of the road to SWAT is saving somebody, they're gonna have pouches. Shock! G.I. Joe also had pouches because that's where they keep more weapons. So there you go. Did I give you a print? Okay, there you go. You could have lied now to give me another one. All right. How you doing? All right, you're twins. My wife's a stripper. That's cool. All right. I just like pictures. I like reading and I like cool art. Honestly, without art, you're reading novels. And who wants to read novels? Not me. I want to read comics. Okay, you.
What was your first comic?
My first comic was a backup story in a book called Megaton. So you're never gonna find it. It was black and white. It wasn't Marvel. It wasn't DC. It was an independent comic. But you gotta start somewhere, right? Right? I did. All right, yeah. You're good. You're good. Oh, I got it. Deadpool. What's up, buddy? That's a good. You know what? Hang on one second. I got something for all the guys in Deadpool costumes. I forgot. If you're wearing a Deadpool costume, I only got 4 of these. If there's more than 4, we're gonna have a death match. You can find that right here. There you go, buddy. Here's your medallion from Amazing Houston Comic Con, the Amazing Deadpool medallion. All right, you need to.
How many local personalities did you make for this?
I just think it's great, And can somebody tell me there was a Deadpool annual where they tore the multiple personalities out of it? No one can explain that to me. They don't even know what they're doing. But he looks like this and he sells. So, all right. Who's little Deadpool? Hang on. Here's your cool. They made these medallions. This is awesome, dude. Precious. You got a question?
Why did you make champion?
I did not make a champion of the universe. He's funny. We put him in the Deadpool Corps, and that's the shirt that's in Hot Topic. So everyone wants to know who's champion. Champion's one of the Celestials in the universe. Maybe they'll get to him in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So maybe. Wait. All right. I'm gonna fall right down here and collapse. What's up?
Who's your dream writer for Deadpool?
Fabian's my favorite. Come on. Fabian, the first Deadpool miniseries, I don't care what you all think, is the best Deadpool story. It's written by Fabian, drawn by Joe Nadier. It's been reprinted a million times. It is the most exciting, I think, best, funniest. Sorry,
Attention.
Colin Bell is back here being offended, but that's what he does.
We have a small girl dressed as Robin in a tutu named Anya, maybe, over at the EMT First Aid Station towards the exit doors. If you have lost your small Robin, please come find her at the First Aid Station.
Thank you. If you lost Robin, go find her. You're the Punisher. What's up? How you doing?
Who do you think would win in a fight? Deathstroke versus Deadpool?
Deadpool would win in like 10 seconds. Done. You don't regenerate. I do. Moving on. Okay. What's up? Desperation. I already said that. I can't do anything else. I can't add. I can't engineer. I'm scared. I don't want to be a cop. I don't want to be shot. So I drop bombs. It's out of desperation. I was like, what am I going to do for a living? Well, I can put these lines together. Sometimes fear motivates you. I also pound sand. I can't write songs. I just keep crossing down the list. Eventually you go, all Rob had left was comic book movies. And I did okay. So thank you. Here, Deadpool, what's up? Oh, you're not Deadpool. Deadpool, what's up? Everybody has a question.
Real quick, in the Deadpool films More universe, was it like the happen Wolverine?
Oh, well, it was justified, right? Come on, I created Deadpool to be better than Wolverine, and it happened. Boom, you're dead. All right, little dude, what's up?
Would you consider Deadpool
What do you think?
Yes.
Web shooters, katanas. Advantage, katanas. Okay, if you're gonna ask me who Deadpool's gonna be, everyone, it's gonna be everyone. Superman, don't figure that out. What's up?
Give me the idea for Deadpool to have the regeneration power.
Oh, okay. When I pitched Deadpool, the idea was where did you come up with Deadpool to have the regeneration power? Look, when I pitched Deadpool to my editor at X-Force, I said, look, I told this yesterday, honestly, I mean, sometimes you go, I cracked this code.
Short minutes. The next exciting panel will be taking
Wolverine, they called it Weapon X. And it was X and Roman numeral 10.
That's right.
And I said, has there been a weapon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Have we seen them? No.
Exceptional.
Okay. Can I introduce Weapon 9? Going back to movies, because I just went to the movies and I walked out with the movies with new comic book ideas. Twins is a movie most of you are too young to have seen. But an Arnold Schwarzenegger and Dan DeVito, and they were twins. And the best part of the movie is when Arnold goes, look, you're all the crap. I said, I'm the good stuff. And I said, Deadpool's all the crap. Before they got Wolverine right, they had to, break a few eggs on Deadpool's molten lava face. We screwed up. It's a big part of the movie that he submitted himself for the project and they screwed him up, and that's why he's so loopy. So again, I just thought I was obsessed with Wolverine, loved the early Wolverine saga. He was not overexposed at the time. This is 1989-90. And they let me run with it. They let me connect it right to it, which I think obviously helped with the popularity. Do you know what time it is? How much time do I have? 9 minutes. All right. Here we go. I got a few more prints. I'm just going to do this until I'm done. I love you. I know. I've been weird about it. But thank you. You're very bold. Fortune favors the bold. Talk to you. All right, what are you? Friend of Robin. Yes. The reason.
I'm sorry about that. What's been your favorite Marvel movie? Like Fox, Sony, Marvel Studio?
You know what? I like them all for different reasons, but come on, man, Guardians of the Galaxy was awesome. I gotta tell you, that movie was a blast. I love the music. I walked out, I bought the soundtrack. Now my kids are like, Dad, how many albums did Blue Suede do? And then this Pina Colada guy, how many more hits did he have? I said, none. That is the best one-hit wonder soundtrack ever. And when I was a kid, they opened these things called water parks. And you had water slides. This was fresh. I was 9 and 10. And the thing is, all they played that summer was Pina Colada. So you put Pina Colada in a movie, you're automatically my favorite Marvel movie of all time. Then The Winter Soldier, then X-Men Days of Future Past. Avengers is pretty good, right? I was in Hall H. They'd kill me if I did this. In San Diego, I saw the trailer for Avengers 2. Holy crap. Avengers 2 will be everyone's favorite movie. They showed like 7 minutes, and I was like, oh my gosh! When Hulk runs to hit the Hulkbuster armor, which is like the size of Optimus Prime, he just holds Hulk's hand, and Hulk just like kind of drags and doesn't even move the armor, and that's the last scene of the trailer, and you're gonna lose your mind when you see it. So I think Avengers 2 is gonna be everyone's favorite, but right now, Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, yes.
What is your opinion on the smell-o-vision that Daredevil has
Daredevil has smell-o-vision?
Well, he looks at Deadpool.
I don't read enough comics, I'm sorry, but that's funny, that's good for them. Good, it must smell bad. I've hugged some of you Deadpools over the years, and you all smell bad. Because those costumes make you reek. I've had some group photos, I'm like, I'm gonna pass out, the BO is horrible. So you know Deadpool smells bad. All right, well, hang on, you're good, Mom, you're good, you got my attention. Woo! I think we're at 5 more minutes and closing, and then you can have the rest of your Sunday back, right? Okay, here you go.
Do you think they're gonna make the X-Force movie?
I've read the X-Force script. It's fantastic. It stars, I can't tell you, but you'll love it. It's awesome. Deadpool's in it. I can tell you that. It's a great script. It's one of the best he's ever. Oh, here, have a print. Where are you? Yes. Pass this to the little Deadpool head dude. Thank you. Oh, kids, I love you. Oh, man, DC Comics again? All right, Kimberly, I'll let that pass. I love Boba Fett. When I was oh my gosh, I was your age when Boba Fett came on, and he was a bounty hunter. So I just went, bounty hunters are cool. I didn't make one, I hadn't made one yet. Deadpool, bounty hunter, Boba Fett, done. That's how the crazy brain works. You already asked? All right, how about 2 more adult questions? Oh, you're so cute. I'll let you ask. I already answered that. That's Wolverine. Always will be. 10 years from now, you pull me over, I'll be homeless here in Houston, and you'll go, Rob, is it still Wolverine? Yes! And then I'll be like, hardware and software, because that'll never leave my brain. And that guy's crazy. Okay, and these little cute girls, they're giving away free prints at the end, so you're gonna be happy. You got a Deadpool shirt.
Whenever you do anything with Image Comics, is it in response to Marvel's authority to try to assert?
No, you know the thing. Okay, here's the deal. Why we started Image Comics? True story. I was being very successful. I'm gonna tell you what Paul Liefeld, my late father, said to me. Son, you're getting millions of dollars from Marvel Comics. And here's the deal. When you sell 5 million copies, you're gonna get $1 million. I was 23, and my dad's like, "Wow, good move on the not being a pastor thing, son." And I said, "Thanks."